Attorney General Gloria Kufuor is asking for a stronger police force to help her office undertake quality prosecutions. She says her office is considering courses and training in law for police personnel to help them in evidence gathering and other criminal processes to sharpen their skills. Gloria Kufuor spoke to JoyNews after a visit to the Attorney General's office in Cape Coast. Richard Kwabenya has more.
I get incessant calls from concerned judges that 4 cases are called in court. There is no attorney present. And sometimes it's because of the challenges that we're faced with. Some of them who have worked in the office
Attorney General Gloria Kufuor lamenting some of the challenges affecting her staff. According to her, to be able to understand the challenges of her staff and appreciate them better, her tour in the regions was necessary. She revealed she has just a quarter of the staff she needs to work with and will be doing more to get more people to work with the Office of the Attorney General.
I need to come see them. And largely they have confirmed the difficulties of accommodation, be it office or residential. Invariably, they are sharing a facility with other state agencies. Crowded offices, no computers, low staffing, even administratively. They have to.
Even though the police service, she acknowledges, is not directly under her ministry, she intimates since the service does prosecution on their behalf, personnel of the service would be schooled to up their game in the prosecutorial processes and evidence gathering to be able to secure convictions.
Clearly, they need training. When the President was Attorney General, we devised a system to structure a course at the School of Law for police prosecutors. During that period, we had a number of them graduating to sharpen their skills. I don't know if that is happening, but I have since tabled it because I also serve on the Police Council, that we should look at it again and see what we can do.
Owing to the volumes of challenges, the Attorney General has directed her offices in the regions to put together what she calls a shopping list that details their needs in the immediate, medium and long term. Richard Kwabenya, JoyNews, Cape Coast.
Kokobot Chief Executive Dr. Stephen Afriyie is in court demanding the state produce documents to be used against him in court. He wants the prosecution to be ordered by the court to produce all documents which have come into his possession, custody, and or knowledge in the course of the investigations. Dr. Afriyie and private businessman Seidu Agongo faced some 27 charges of causing financial loss to the state. In the writ, the plaintiff said the demand for the document was an exercise of his constitutional right to all facilities necessary to adequately defend himself. Here are the highlights of the reliefs he's seeking. He says all letters written by the PPA in connection with the production of fertilizers during the tenure of Dr. Stephen Afriyie, CEO of Cocoa Board, be produced. He also demands that all certificates issued by the Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana for all fertilizers, including the Litovid foliar fertilizer before, during, and after the tenure of Dr. Afriyie as Cocoa Board CEO, all certificates issued by the Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana for all fertilizers, including Litovid foliar fertilizer from March 2018, as well as renewals of all such certificates. Among others, he also demands all contracts for fertilizers entered into by Cocoa Board from January 2008 to March 2018. The directives of Dr. Afriyie issued to CRIC instructing it to reduce and or shorten the time for testing of Litovid foliar fertilizer. Oh, so the Attorney General has been speaking on the subject about the request. She confirmed the receipt of the writ to JoyNews and says the prosecution will make available documents being requested by the accused.
We have been served with an application by their lawyers in that matter. It is not new. There was pending in the Supreme Court a hypothetical application. The similar application was made in the Republic versus Kwabenya and 3 others. That too is pending in the Supreme Court. So it does not come to me as a surprise that the same request is being made. Now, what is at stake? We have different ways of prosecuting, either summarily or by indictment. By indictment means that you prosecute through a jury. Summarily, you don't use a jury. Now, summarily, when you prosecute summarily, you do not, by the rules, provide the accused persons with the evidence that you intend to rely on. Now, their request allegedly is premised on the constitutional provision that says that an accused person must be given a fair opportunity and facility to enable it to defend the suit. In the Kwabenya case, we readily said that, look, we are able to give you whatever we have on hand that we intend to rely on in prosecuting our case, and any that may become available to us subsequently. We did. Strangely, they came back with a formal application asking not only what we intend to rely on, but even evidence that we do not intend to rely on. That clearly is not supported in the law. So we resisted it, and it occasioned a referral to the Supreme Court. It's a similar application that has been made, which is going to be heard on the 11th. So we are going to court. We are prepared to give them what we are going. We have nothing to hide. After all, we believe in the right of the individual to defend himself, particularly when it's against the principle that they are presumed to be innocent.
And so with the court, an Accra Circuit Court has sentenced 2 suspects who escaped lawful custody at the Kwabenya police station in January to some 66 months in prison. The convicts were handed the sentence after they pleaded guilty to escaping from lawful custody and conspiracy to escape from lawful custody. Jacqueline Johnson-Quay was in court and filed the following report.
In a Hollywood fashion, the 2 convicted, including 4 other inmates at the Kwabenya police station, escaped custody in January. 6 armed men attacked the police station, killing a senior police officer in the process. Kofi Daku, who has been in custody for the past 4 months since hearing began, was sentenced to 32 months in prison. Emmanuel Kote, who was rearrested by the police 21 days ago, was also handed a 34-month jail term. The 2 pleaded guilty to the charges of unlawful escape from police custody and conspiracy before a court presided over by Justice Abuaje Tando. Meanwhile, trial for the 9 persons arrested in connection with the siege opened their defense at the same court on Monday. Hearing continues on Tuesday. Jacqueline Johnson-Quay, JoyNews.
The rector of the Polytechnic, Professor Emmanuel Owusu-Marfo, has denied accusations by lecturers at the school that he breached procurement procedures to buy a Mercedes-Benz vehicle worth $500,000 Ghana cedis. The lecturers claim Professor Owusu-Marfo failed to go through the appropriate procedures to acquire the vehicle. The rector, who has since been suspended by the Governing Council pending the outcome of an investigation into allegations of willful financial fraud against him, has denied the said accusations. Here is Rafiq Salam's report.
Make no mistake, this is not Mercedes-Benz in a Formula 1 race, but rather the suspended rector of the Polytechnic, Professor Emmanuel Marfo, meandering his way out of storms used to block him from entering his office by lecturers of the Polytechnic. Professor Emmanuel Marfo returned to the Polytechnic for the first time following his suspension by the Governing Council of the Polytechnic last Thursday. after members of the various labor unions accused him of willful breaching procurement procedures and abuse of office. He told JoyNews in an exclusive interview that he went to the Polytechnic after filing a writ praying to the High Court to overturn his suspension.
After parking there for some few minutes, all I realized was some people trying to put a lot of blocks behind my saloon car, that is the Mercedes-Benz 2017 model. And I could see that it was really bad, about 100 of them. And the leader was this Ahmed Mubashi, who has been destroying me in respect to defaming me. He wasn't the only person. I saw even the driver called Frank, who drives the registrar. And another person who had said that I had not promoted him because I had not got enough time to look at his documents. And a whole lot of them. When I saw them, I was shocked. About 100 of them with logs, wood logs, and then sticks and stones ready to attack me. I was shocked. In the initial time, when I tried to reverse back, thank God, the car was able to climb the blocks. And then trying to go forward, I saw the electrical pole, very big one. And I could not see how the car could climb it, but thank God, I came back a bit and then moved fast, and the car was able to make it.
Chairman of the Coalition of Labor Unions at the Polytechnic, Bami Mubasir, however, disagreed with the suspended rector, saying that they only blocked the roads because of the manner he was driving at the campus.
Came with at some excruciating speed, entered, took his right-hand side and went to a library block to some top speed. The speed made most of us so worried that we had no other option, but we had to mobilize and said, no, you don't drive this way on our campus. So for that matter, we needed to block the road to reduce the speed. So we put some locks on the road and he went in. Later on came out. There was an electric pole, very electric pole, that was used in blocking the road. But he used the Benz car to climb that pole, came down with his, I don't know what symbol is this, but that was the symbol he used. As a fuck you ass, as he was driving the Benz car.
He said per the directive of the governing council, they expected him to park the Mercedes-Benz. He said per the directive of the governing council, they expected him to park the Mercedes-Benz 2017 C200 model, which is the bone of contention.
He didn't get council approval when he procured the car, which is not allowed. Polytechnic Act is straightforward. Polytechnic Act 745 says that all resources of the institution belong to the Polytechnic. Yes, assets or financial. So if you go ahead and then you go and procure something, you're always supposed to present budgetary estimate to council for council to approve for you to spend. So if you haven't done that and you go ahead and procure, now it's not acceptable.
Professor Mafo, however, said he did no wrong in procuring the luxurious car.
The right processes was followed, and processes were followed, and there's nothing like, we just got up and then purchased it through the wrong means. No, or the wrong processes.
Chairman of the Governing Council of the Polytechnic, Professor Daniel Berger, expressed worry over the new development at the Polytechnic.
We have come a long way in the sense that, some of these court cases, culminated in the what we call dissolution of council, the previous council, the establishment of the interim management committee, who brought the rector and other officers into office. And so when we were inaugurated in September last year, I thought that our major lesson was going to bring all the factions together. It appears like we are not really making any headway.
We can probably expect a showdown between the suspended rector and the lecturers now that the former has threatened fire and brimstone to report at work on Tuesday. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam.
Lecture halls and learning materials are said to be impeding effective academic work at the Faculty of Creative Arts at the Kumasi Technical University. Authorities lament that the 5 classrooms available are currently unable to contain the over 700 students of the faculty. The Dean, Reverend Dr. Timothy Krenzel, spoke to Love News at the launch of its fashion expression and exhibition in Kumasi. Love FM's Anita Ajogan Sewa has more in this report.
student population putting a strain on limited facilities which have seen no corresponding expansion. Reverend Dr. Timothy Crystal, Dean of the faculty.
Looking at the student numbers, 700, usually you will need a class size of about 25 to be effective. But if you go to class, one class is over 100. So how do you have to group them into smaller groups and all that. These are some of the challenges. Aside that, we have to take them out for industrial attachment. We need a lot of places to place them for industrial attachment. And they also use a lot of training materials. Our work is hands-on. Almost everything we do, we do the practice. It's not about reading and writing. So we have to provide the material so that you demonstrate and the students do it. We give them a lot of projects, assignments, and all that. So these are the things when we talk about the teaching learning materials that we need to support the training.
Challenges confronting students are not restricted to space. They also complain about high cost of fabrics and raw materials for practical work.
Well, I was thinking that the government can open up a very big place for us and then provide us with all the necessary requirements that we need so that we'll be able to bring out what we have in us. I actually want the government to help young artists to promote African arts and our heritage, because looking at it, most Africans do not appreciate art. So if I'm able to express myself through this, I think somebody else too can do that. So I think...
Reporting for Joy News, Anita Ajoga-Sewa.
The Ghana Veterinary Service is putting health officials on high alert after antibodies of a virus known as Nipah virus was detected in part of Africa. Wildlife veterinary specialist Dr. Richard Sueri indicates the disease is predicted to potentially cause the next world pandemic. Dr. Sueri was the guest speaker at a forum on One World, One Health, One Medicine by the Ghana Veterinary Medical Student Association, Kumasi.
The virus was first detected in 1998 in the Malaysian forest of Kampung Sungai, Nipah, from which it got its name. It's endemic in fruit bats, also known to harbor Ebola virus. Large numbers were later spotted around orchards at pig farms in northwest Malaysia. Nipah was found in the saliva of bats in half-eaten fruits dropped and consumed by the pigs. During the outbreak, over 1 million pigs were killed, 800 pig farms were demolished, and 36,000 farmers lost their jobs.
Some 5 years ago, we detected antibodies in Nipah. This is a very deadly virus, and actually in the scientific arena, is projected to be a virus that is likely to cause the next pandemic. That virus, Nipah virus, it was only occurring in Southeast Asia, but we have proved beyond that that this virus is now in Africa. So our medical college, you have this in mind when you have an outbreak, not only Ebola, but it could be Nipah virus.
Humans in recent times have been battling with disease of animal origin. In 2014, West Africa experienced the worst case of Ebola outbreak. Avian flu claimed lives in Ghana about 2 years ago. One World, One Health, One Medicine concept seeks to create awareness on the link between animal diseases and public health. Professor Raphael Folache is Dean of the School of Veterinary Medicine at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He wants Ghana to go beyond collaboration to form a system to curb the situation.
Far ahead. Southern Africa, the same thing. And we, West Africa, we are still behind. Where it is system somewhere, we are now starting as collaboration. So we need to run, no more to walk.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
Well, so that's it for now. But in the meantime, we have a lot more news. We have a couple of the newspapers in the studio. We'll be looking at those headlines on the back page. the center spread and the front pages as well. Then we'll look at the various stories on myjoyonline.com and the other news portals. Stick and stay. Well, great lineup for you.